What's going on, everybody? Brent Allen here. Today I want to share with you guys my boat. More specifically, I want to share with you my boat because I'm selling it. The time has officially come. My gator tail is done and it's time to give the Lowe a new home. So this video, I'm going to be basically breaking down the boat, all its features, everything I can pretty much share about it, and hopefully it will go to a good home because this boat deserves it. This is my Lowe Stryker 16. This is a 16-foot aluminum hull bass style fishing boat, and so as you can see, it has the back and the front decks with enough space to fish, I mean, probably 2 or 3 people comfortably. Definitely on the back, probably 2 on the front. And it has the 2-seat style here in the middle. And these are all Lowe OEM seats. Nice, plushy, comfy. So it's all got the same matching color pattern here. And this comes with a Mercury 4-stroke 40 horse motor. This thing has just been such a dream. It just starts up all the time, even in cold weather, just starts up. I mean, I've never had an issue with it. So I have taken it in for maintenance once, and they did, so this doesn't have a tack on it, but they did tell me when they were checking everything, it had less than 200 hours on it. So, I mean, y'all know that's still pretty freaking new for an outboard motor. So I'll let y'all look at the inside of this thing. Okay, so here is the inside of it. Again, it's just immaculate. I mean, this thing has never leaked oil, given me any problems, leaked fuel, anything. It's just, again, I can't say enough good things about it. This has just been the most fantastic motor. Even my dad says every time he fishes in my boat, he's like, I can't believe this freaking motor. It is so nice. It just sounds good. It runs good. And that's unusual for me because every boat I've had has had just a plethora of issues with the motor. And I think most people do with boats, but honestly, this one has just been so fantastic. So, and this is a cable steering, or cable steer. It's not hydraulic steering. So I will say, you know, it's, you know, anyone that's driven a hydraulic steering boat knows how smooth it is. This is still smooth, but it's stiffer because it's a cable. So don't expect, you know, the smoothness of a hydraulic steering motor. So going back on the seats here, these are all in really great condition. Honestly, I hardly have this one on the boat. Usually that's just taken off and I stick a cooler back there because it's usually only me fishing. So no one usually sits in the passenger seat because, again, it's usually only me on the boat. The one I probably use the most is this front one and the driver's seat. And they're all in great shape. The only imperfection in the seat is this one here, the driver's seat, and that's this little flap right here. It could probably, if someone knew how to sew, I do not, but it could probably just be sewn back together right here. But it's still comfortable. But just try to be completely transparent about everything here. So that is the only imperfection with the seats. And these do fold up. So you have storage under here. I usually keep life jackets, maybe some spare tools. And same thing with that one. You can fold it up. It's got storage. And on the front console, we have our switches, which is nav lights and bilge pump. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's running there. And then the live well. Live well works, bilge pump works, the lights work. And my dad actually added this on here, so I've already removed all my Garmin equipment. But he added this piece of aluminum here because when we tried to mount the Garmin to just the plastic directly, it just wasn't sturdy enough. Like, it probably could have worked, but you know, on a rough day, it's bouncing around, and just we neither one of us were very comfortable with it. So he cut this and added it as reinforcement. And this thing, I mean, you put whatever kind of chart plotter you want on here, it ain't going anywhere. So that's staying on there, but that's good just because, like I said, the bare plastic, you know. And we cut this little hole here with a rubber grommet around it for running your cables through. This here's another live well. I use this for storage, honestly, because I mean, you guys, if you watch my videos, I don't keep live fish. They go straight in the cooler. So I have never used live wells, but they do work. So this is a little bracket for storing the light bar that I never really use. Here is the plug for the front light. And then this is extra storage up front. This is actually where I used to store the black box for the Panoptix live scope. But, you know, obviously you can use it for whatever kind of storage you want. And this, when you unscrew these screws around here, this gives you access to underneath here. So if you need to run wires for trolling motor, you know, GPS up here, whatever you need, this gives you that front access. So, what else can I say here? Yeah, so I mean, you see the graphics that come on it. It's a sharp looking boat, 100%. I mean, I've given it a little bath here, so it's got all the grime off the sides. And so the back here, it's got this style plug, so it's actually attached to it, which is kind of nice. I do prefer these because then you can't really lose them. But yeah, this thing, I tell you what, every boat I've owned has leaked, and anyone that has dealt with that, it drives you freaking nuts. This boat has never once leaked. You may not believe me, but I swear to you, I'm telling you the truth. I've never had any leaks in this boat. It's just, it's been great. You know, for someone that's had subpar boats my whole life, when I got this one, it just was such a dream. Like, and that, you know, again, it breaks my heart to get rid of this boat. But, you know, I've had my heart set on a gator tail for a while, because there's so many more things I want to do that I could do in this boat. But, you know, like frog gigging and running really shallow water, I don't like putting that motor at risk. You know, running through even the Withlacoochee River, some of them side canals, I mean, there's logs everywhere. It's not fun when you're constantly worried about your motor. So, you know, that's not something I'm willing to risk putting this through. So, anyway, wheels are nothing special. They're wheels. Still got plenty of tread on them. They're good. You got the steps on both sides there. That's solid. And it's got the little wheel guides here that came with it. Now these I added separate because once I got my new truck, I couldn't see the boat when I was loading and unloading it. So I bought these aftermarket and bolted them on, and you know, they do the trick. They just help see the boat when you're launching it. So let's see, what else can we talk about? So as far as the trailer goes, I mean, this is pretty standard. You got your safety chain. All the hardware here is in great shape. Never given me a problem. You know, I have minimal rust even on the gears here. And this is a breakaway style. So if you plan on keeping this like in your garage, which I did for some time, you just pull this pin out and this actually folds in. So it makes storing it a lot easier. And that's another thing I want to mention with this boat. Before we moved here, I kept this in our garage, thanks to that breakaway trailer there. So it was always kept inside, and when we move here, we keep it underneath this overhang. So it's still outside, but at least it's covered, so it's not getting freaking leaves in it, getting rained on, weathered that way. So this boat has always been very well kept. And the deck, you know, it's outdoor carpet. This is just what came with it, nothing special. And inside here, it's got rod holders. I think I've used these a little bit. I mean, you guys know the style of fishing I do with the 10, 11 foot jigging rods. So obviously those are not going to fit very well in there. But for standard spinners and stuff, you know, you can lay them in there. You got the extra security with these little rubber mounts here. And in the middle, if I can reach, that's your middle storage. Plenty of room for life jackets, all the necessities. Now the trolling motor, this is a 45-pound thrust motor guide. And yeah, the X3, 45-pound thrust, 12 volt. So this only has the one battery in it. Now, this thing has been great. I've never had any issues with this either. And this comes with the foot pedal. This has 5 different speeds on it that you can switch with this little switch here. On the side, you have the switch for on, which spins the trolling motor just 100% all the time, off, and then the pedal, which is usually what I keep it on, because when I'm fishing, I like to control everything. So this is what engages the actual propeller, and then up and down is what controls the left or right. So, and that just plugs in with this little plug into that little port. Nothing to it. These mosquitoes are eating me alive. So sorry if I sound like I'm rushing it, but I'm just getting bit up. So here's the inside. This is a 6.5 gallon fuel tank. I actually replaced the one that came with it because it was smaller than this. So this has a little bit extra gas with the fuel gauge there. And that's the cranking battery. And these are all relatively newer batteries. That's the trolling motor battery, just single one. And we put in this aftermarket battery charger. And this you just plug in and has a single plug that you can go into, like an extension cord, to charge up the trolling motor battery. So that's pretty much, that's all that's in there really. And the bilge pump stuff, that's all at the bottom. And on the topic of the fuel, I've only run non-ethanol in this boat. And even with that, I still put additive in it. So I use this stable along with Marvel Mystery Oil. I had an outboard mechanic years ago tell me that even with non-ethanol fuel, he said still put it in there. It will prolong the life of the motor. So ever since then, I've just always used that. What else can we talk about? Guys, this is such a freaking nice boat. You know, whoever takes this home, they're going to be so happy with it. And again, I really am heartbroken that I'm getting rid of it. If I didn't have such a nice boat waiting for me, you know, I would never get rid of this thing. I have an extra prop. The prop is a little chewed up, but I keep it with me whenever I go on trips and stuff, because you never know. The prop still is good enough to run the motor or push the boat. So I'll throw that in too. Yeah, guys, I mean, this boat runs like a freaking dream. That's about it. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to crank this motor up so y'all can hear it. And just so you can see how she runs, because it's solid. So we are actually on the ass end of that hurricane that just came through. We hardly got anything. It was up in Steinhatchee, Keaton Beach, that got hit hard. I actually reached out to Dave over at Spring Warrior to see how they were, but they're up in Tallahassee. They didn't even stick around, so I'm hoping that the fish camp is okay. Unfortunately, they're okay because they got out of Dodge. My fault. But as you can see, she cranks up just fine. And like I said, even on cold days, I've never had a problem. So as far as outboards go, you know, I never had a Mercury prior to this, but you know, I'd always heard that Mercuries weren't that great. This freaking thing has run better than any other motor I've ever had, so I don't know what that's all about. This is like a racehorse. Kick her in reverse. So hopefully that was enough explanation on the motor there for y'all. I don't know if I mentioned on this trailer, it has the little pop down wheel for scooting it around while it's unhooked. This little sucker here. And yeah, this is kind of, yeah, I can't really mess with it with one hand, it's too hard. But anyway, but yeah, it's got that on there. So that's it. That's the whole skinny, guys. I will leave the link for the listing in the description of this video. If you guys are interested, we can meet up. Y'all can take a look at it. If you prefer to ride it, we can take it out. But I try to include as much as I can in this video for those that are just looking to scoop it. Like I said, this thing rides like a dream, fishes like a dream, and that's all I can say. So anyhow, that's about it, guys. Any questions, leave a comment, reach out in the listing, but that's it. And I look forward to sharing the new gator tail with you guys here soon. It's been shipped, it's already here. We're just waiting to install the power poles, batteries, trolling motor, everything on there. So I'm jonesing to get that boat on the water. So looking forward to sharing that with you guys. So thanks for watching, and I suppose I'll be seeing you soon.